Right, hello everyone. This is going to be recap of Bismarck Paradox Sunday Monday game, and I think this is the third week of this particular session. We've just barely reached 1600, about to turn on the age of absolutism. So we are going to start from west to east this time around, and I believe we have two players playing in the New World. We have some other large colonies, but I do not believe Texas is a player. If they are, and I skip over them, then I'm sorry, although maybe they are a player. They've got two 30k stacks. That looks a little bit more playery, so I think I will give them a brief look after the West Indies, just in case. Although unsure. So, take a look quickly. West Indies, we've got a decent chunk of the New World, taken over most of Panama and all of the aforementioned islands. Money-wise is actually very, very good, although we're not really making too much of a profit as our fleet is massively expensive. I do know there was a bit of sunset invasioning happening, reconquering of the New World, as we have vassals in Castile, Portugal, and Leon, as well as some of the Mediterranean islands that was reclaimed from Persia. So, definitely going the route of the naval power with 101 heavies and enough money to support them. So probably need to go ahead and hit that core button. Our advisors, very good. What our idea groups? I expect. Yeah, there is naval already done. I'm guessing that we'll see maritime next. Yeah, don't really have that many sailors, so I think that could be one thing limiting us going forward. What policies do we have on? We've got more merchants, more trade, and more production, which is not too shabby. Oh, and we are sending all of this money back to Sevilla, where we are collecting huge amounts of money. Hey, dog. I am busy, Xena. You do not get to dictate the schedule. So what religion are we? We are Reformed. Interesting choice. I'm curious if that was what the cloning nation started, or that was chosen just to get more trade power going and flowing. And as we're a republic, we got no nobility estate, which is a bit of a downside, but of course you can have these excellent rulers on command. And dog, you are getting annoying. Shh. Xena, down. Down. Good girl. Good girl. Okay. How are we doing on building? I assume we should have a lot of manufactories down. Yeah, looks like we are. We've got some yellow places that likely need to be. Oh yeah, got temples here. You can probably go ahead, delete, and get some nice plantations. Although there must coffee will have there should be an event to push coffee back up, because yeah, right now that's probably not the best building slot. But assuming that there is in fact not a Texas player, you should definitely be looking at taking over the Yucatan and all of this black gold, because you're already raking in quite a bit of money. No merchant in Mexico right now. Where is our merchant? Got Tunis, West Indies, Panama. Yeah. Rio, or Mississippi rather. Amazon. Okay, yeah, that's probably just something that we could easily just fix quick. Yes. Again, you've got a lot of trade power in Mexico, and it's lots of money. And, yeah, may as well just... That should send an extra 2 ducats or so into Panama. And then multiplied by 5, collected in Seville. Quite good. So, we are allied with United States and Texas, so I am genuinely not sure if... The United States does not look like a player. They're not big enough, although... Oh, they are... Or no, right. They are going to be a player. They are Norway Exodus, which I don't... Is Norway still alive? Or were they killed? Yeah, I think they were killed after United States formed, so I think I will have to take a quick look at them. But, yeah, no, it seems more land to expand. Brazil is, in fact, a player, and I assume when there's no ally slot, we've got France, Texas, US. No Brazil, which might be the natural enemy, although if you're coming back into a new world, you might just not care and take over AI Andalusia now, so not bad. So let's take a quick look at good old US of A. Probably not too much to see here. Just going ahead and beginning to build up. Republic, very poor. Yeah, I mean, if you... US is still sending money as collecting up here. Yeah, that's collecting. Not sure why we're I don't know if this was player controlled or not, but it's probably not too much to yeah, it's just poor. Needs lots of things to build, lots of things to dev. It's going to be a while before this country is relevant. Take a quick look at Texas to try and figure out if they are in fact a player. Well, that's a fairly large army if they aren't. Making decent money for land power. This many estates, I think that they might be. Although... Okay, no, I don't believe it's a player, as there are farm estates on cattle. I'll take that as a hint that it's not. Although it is an independent country. Unsure. But let's move on to Brazil. What is Brazil? Haha. So, Brazil was the Mali player who exodused. It's been a while, but he has taken all of the coastline, so now he is doing the consolidation. Only has 4 colonies down. I would say you can probably put down an extra 2 just to speed up your colonization. You've got the money for it. Yeah, you got 200 ducats. Holy crap. Yeah, spending quite a lot on army. Jeez, yeah. We've got a massive standing army. And it's all on the border of West Indies. So, I was right, and this is probably no friendship. And I think this would make sense for you to do if you can just quickly invade and take this over and send those dastardly Caribbeans back onto their islands. So, but if that's not the plan, you can probably cut down on this army by a good bit. You can get some free money. Missions are irrelevant. State set up well. But yeah, no, lots of land. How have your trade goods been? Whew. You have got tons and tons of gold. Holy crap, man. Well, there's all that Peruvian gold. Whoa. Why is that? Okay. Not sure if you did that or not. But yeah, and also we got another very good chance of getting a whole lot more gold up in here. So, you know, our inflation should probably be, oh yeah, 55 income in gold. I think you can probably pop that up a good bit. Yeah, tech, no reason to take this ahead of time. You can probably go ahead and pump up these gold provinces a bit more. And, yeah, maybe some admin that you can spend too instead of your mill points, since if you're going to fight, you don't want to spend it on that. How are you doing on buildings as well? Pretty good job so far, building all of our manufactories. Don't really agree with building the naval equipment on fish. That's food. You can build soldiers' households instead. But no, yeah. Otherwise, you're still not exactly strong enough to fight in Europe. And if you do fight West Indies and France decides to help them, and somehow they build boats and come over in force, that might be trouble, as if there is this, seems to be Texas, US, France alliance going on, so they can ship troops over here and then walk down, and if that happens, I don't see your army beating the French anytime soon, as, yeah, we've just got quantity, we have no quality or anything allowed. Ideas are kind of meh as a Brazil. Don't think there is any real way for you to form anything else with better ideas. I don't know if there are Brazil ideas and if they're better or worse, and you gave them up, but yeah, I think doing this is definitely the right move. You should probably speak with France a bit before you do that, just in case, because if they bring the pain, you will certainly feel it. But being that they are across the world away, that could be an easy risk to take. So, speaking of Africa, let's take another look at the Bank of Songhai, slowly consolidating the entire African continent, probably soon to take over South Africa, as your wastelands are now touching. Tech-wise, doing fine. Ideas, we still have expansion and still haven't finished trade, which seems a little bit slow, especially since we're only 2 techs behind the next idea group. But money-wise, I believe this is the second richest country in the world, so doing quite good on that. We should have lots of factories down. Yep. Trade good. Still some to be built. Tropical wood. Oh yeah, quite a few manufactories still needing to be built. Manpower is doing decent, but okay. We have not started selling to the nobility, so I don't think that will be happening anytime soon. And interestingly, well, I guess being that we have Congo and other parts, I guess it makes a little bit more sense to be collecting in the Ivory Coast, although West Indies is stealing a quarter of the money here, so I would think that should make them an enemy of you. Although, yeah, navally we can't really compete. We've got no sailors. And we don't have enough light ships. So I don't know if the heavies make sense because we don't have enough coastline to support them. Also lots of workshops to build, so still plenty of ways for Songhai to get stronger. We get friends with Brazil, but that's about it. Probably no need to pick a direct conflict with France or West Indies over this land, as we've got all of this to eat up. Yemen is slow and is only now starting to finish off Ethiopia and get down the coast, so I don't think they're a threat. You could, of course, easily decide to go in this way and eat Ethiopia. This is a march of Yemen, and that's kind of blocking you off, but up to you whether or not you feel annoyed by that or not. Oh, jeez. Now that's a good ruler. Air, not so much, but can get rid of it if you so choose. And yeah, this is the fun part about playing Africa. All of these crazy cultures. So yeah, probably going to give you some good bit of unrest. So rebellions are nice and fun. Yeah, another thing that might be on the table soon. I guess we still do have colonists. Yeah, just getting the last of the land. So it won't be before too long that we can go ahead and axe this idea group all together and pick up something more useful. So let's go north and take a quick look at France. So France, eating most of Iberia, should obviously be quite terrifying. Yet 400k manpower, army of just about 300. But no, income very respectable. Yeah, we have basically all of the Netherlands. So we are collecting not in the English Channel. We are just collecting in Champagne. We are allied with GB, and the fact that we own most of the Netherlands, I think maybe it's time to change a trade port or go ahead and make a trade agreement with England. You can transfer the trade power and have them subsidize you. Yeah, interesting. We have 20 ships here, but we're not collecting, are we? So I assume that probably needs to be fixed up, along with no advisors again. We are not making a lot of money, as our army is so expensive. It's a little bit behind, it looks like, on seizing land, but that is what happens. Okay, so we've already gone into, it looks like, religious ideas for all those good military policies. I guess, yeah, if we're making a trade deal, probably no need to get trade ideas at all, and we can probably just pick up a third mill group for our next idea set. How is our development? Is actually not necessarily the best. Yeah, still quite a lot of provinces with low dev. Yeah, we haven't made any level 3 trade centers yet, so, but I guess we are relatively poor. So probably what would make sense is when money is available, we pick a province with land that is the best to develop and upgrade a trade center to 3 to get that nice cost reduction on development. And yeah, I should probably insult someone for some power projection. How we do it. Manufactories, we are Doesn't look like we're doing too hot. Yeah, a lot of temples and slots open. Farm estate on wine is questionable, but I guess right now we're hurting on money more than manpower, so that could be fixed later. We are allied with GB, Italy, and Hungary, and appears to be the West Indies as well. So, I mean, this France is probably the biggest military power in Europe. Probably only Russia can stand against you. So, it looks like, I guess, when you have admin, which you clearly are suffering for. Yeah, that's a lot of points that need to be cored. So probably not a bad idea to just wait a little bit for that war exhaustion to tick down. But I guess if we are friends indeed with Italy, then it looks like we want to be going for Westphalia, who is taking over the last bit of the Netherlands. I think that fairly obviously makes makes Westphalia the logical next stop. Also of note, there was a minor war that, well, a major war and then a minor war that France just got out of. So perhaps how is our army professionalism? Okay, it's not quite up there to get our manpower back, but depending on how much we value our money, we've only got one artillery stack, which is fine, then we might want to think about disbanding some troops just to boost up that income. So there was the aforementioned war of the West Indies, and Persia was involved, and Russia was involved, and Yemen was involved, and France fought on the side of the West Indies, so that was probably a big economic drain, although there are no loans and our manpower is still quite good. And immediately after that war, there was another one in Egypt, where Yemen, backed up by Vijayanagara, took a few provinces from your Italian allies. So, just looking at the way alliances look, France probably wants to go up here, get some of the rest of the English Channel and Lubeck, and the fact that we're allied with Italy, who is no friends to Bohemia and Westphalia, they probably want to go up here, so that seems to be the logical next way. How is the French ruler? French ruler is okay, heir is okay, but you definitely need to get some advisors. Yeah, the French money situation needs to be worked on. Probably, yeah, unless you're looking to fight a war, I think you'd probably benefit from disbanding about 100k troops and just ecoing up. Let's take a quick look at your friend to the north, Great Britain, allied to France and stuck on his island. So this is not a pretty looking Great Britain, although you are still making obscene amounts of money for your size thanks to the English Channel. Probably also in your interest to speak with France, have him collect maybe in Genoa and transfer all this money up here. You'll get more, you'll subsidize him, and he'll get more than he is. As trade efficiency, not that high. Do we not have trade ideas? We don't. So, yeah, if there is a trade deal to be made, that's probably what we want to go next. Oh yeah, no trade efficiency in the British ideas, unfortunately. Tech, we're doing quite well. Can't sell the nobility as Britain, thanks to English monarchy. But how are you doing? Yeah, army is insignificant and manpower insignificant. Our navy is starting to be built up. We're making about as much as the West Indies, but we have far fewer transports and a lot of galleys for some reason, which I do understand that galleys will be super buffed on inland sea, but I don't really think they serve England very much. Oh yeah, and our sailors are quite low. So if we're thinking that we're going to be enemies with you, with these guys, I think we're going to need more lights and more heavies. Also, we're only on 3 merchants. One. Where are our light ships? Our light ships are protecting in North Sea. I don't think we need them there. We can probably send them to Lubeck, or maybe more profitably the... Yeah, if Caribbeans are our enemy, then... oh, we cannot reach there. We don't have... How much range are we missing? Quite a bit. As they hold all the islands. Yikes. Okay. So... England, maybe you want to fight a war against AI Andalusia before they die and grab a coastal province or two, just so that you can get your merchants into more advantageous positions, because you're losing out on stealing Ivory Coast trade, and you're losing out on stealing Caribbean trade. Gulf of St. Lawrence and Chesapeake is coming to you, as US players not set up their trade super well yet. How are we on dev? Also not doing great. Doesn't seem like much has been done, as we are... we do have economic, but we don't have quantity, so we don't have that amazing policy. So we do have extra morale, so despite being outnumbered by the West Indies, I think the Navy can do a pretty damn good job of fighting toe-to-toe, just because naval morale is king. Yeah, other available policies don't really seem to be that relevant, so... I mean, this doesn't seem to be the greatest spot for Great Britain. You're just sort of on your islands. You can... I mean, you do have some of the best land in the world to dev and make money off of, but it's not necessarily the best for making your army. So, yeah, where are you? Maybe you can work with Songhai to try and take some money away or weaken the West Indies and get yourself a foothold somewhere else. Doesn't look like we're going to be playing any sort of colonial game, so I suppose your most obvious route of expansion would be into Sweden or into Westphalia with France's help. And yeah, I don't really know how valuable going naval is in this position without really an empire to boost it up. But we can see what you're able to do with it. So let's go ahead and take a look at Westphalia. So Westphalia's had I think a series of 3 lost wars in relatively short order. Commonwealth, that was their previous ally, got decked on by Russia, and we immediately betrayed them. And the Russia war got an enforced peace and ended very quickly. And Commonwealth so quickly went into Westphalia and took a good bit of a chunk out of them. You lost some trade ports and some decent land. Yeah, it's fairly well dev'd up now, so think that hurts a good bit, although we'll try and replace it with some Dutch. Meanwhile, looks like trying to eat up what little AI is left from Bohemia. We lost a big chunk of Bavaria. Also very good land, a lot of manpower. And it doesn't look like we lost very much to Italy. Just the gold mine, which I think is relatively important. Look at money. Yeah, not doing too great. Wait, what? Oh, we're collecting in Rhineland. I see. I believe that makes sense. We don't have any of the trade ports in Lubeck, and I think you have quite a bit of good manufactories up. Soldiers' household, so this is a compact yet strong nation. What's this? Oh, doesn't matter. Ideas. Yeah, we've got those morale things going on from religious. Maybe trade next for money or more mill. I guess Westphalian ideas are quite strong. Dev cost, manpower, force limit, discipline. No morale, however. I don't think that's the biggest deal yet. Not selling to nobility just yet. It is a little unfortunate. Oh, and we are a theocracy. I hadn't noticed. Yeah, right, because this is Cologne, so we should have some very good morale from that. Yeah, 10%, more manpower. Absolutism. What? Not quite done, but it's got the good stuff, which is just fine. What are these other corruption, stab? Yeah, maybe the army tradition is better, but I think that's relatively marginal. So, well, the most obvious thing is that Westphalia is currently not friends with anyone, which is a bad position to be in. But I heard talk of them trying to get back in with the Commonwealth, and if they do, then their obvious expansion is west to south, which being that seems to be the obvious alliance, although perhaps they could find their way into good graces of France, who could help them with Bohemia, but I don't really see how France would want that unless they go north into Britain. Our army size is actually not irrelevant, just shy of 200 with a good amount of manpower, so we're not quite toe-to-toe with France in quantity, but the manpower definitely helps, so stronger than we look, definitely. Let's take a look quickly at Prussia, who is the march, and I have heard great things about the Prussian economy, which seems to be somewhat overstated, but taking most of the trade in Lubeck is good. Once Sweden dies, that will obviously be a huge boost to you. What are we looking at? Military-wise, 160. Damn. Yeah, capped out army tradition because just Prussia things. And yeah, that maximum army professionalism is delicious. Ideas-wise, yeah, we've gone the full fight. Makes sense. It's good. Morale policies. Development-wise as well. Prussia, I think, has been whoa. 62 dev in Berlin. What the crap? Okay, there is no way that is efficient or the best way to dev, but that is nonetheless awesome. One thing you can probably also look at doing, I guess we have 2 merchants, depending on if you finished deving these states with the level 3 centers of trade, we can go ahead, downgrade them, upgrade somewhere else just to get more dev going, as this appears to be a tall Prussia, so seems to be quite a bit of things that we can do, although can't really get stronger until Sweden dies or your overlord helps you, or you betray your overlord and reclaim rightful Prussian land. Mill tech we can take soon, and what else? What was I gonna look at? Manpower, not yet the greatest. Some more manufactories can be built. Soldiers' household, only 1 that we're missing. So strong, but still relatively. Yeah, it's a small country. If we somehow took a massive bite of Bohemia, that would be a different story, but we haven't, so. Prussia's situation not really changed too much. Take a quick look at ZPLC. So there was a war against Russia that had an enforced peace, and now that the Sweden player rage quit, this gives you an opportunity to grab some land in the Baltic, as well as expand your march up into Sweden. I am curious how their corps will be divided up. Military-wise, yeah, strong, large amount of troops, manpower, fairly respectable, and been doing a decent job at building manufacturers. Yeah, I only see 1 more cloth province that you can do. Although 2 yellows. Yeah, these ones we probably want to take a look at deving, or in this case, deleting the church. Lots of soldiers' households to be built, I assume. Yep, as you are Poland. All this land is manpower, so if you're able to get that up, that would be most excellent for you. We're collecting in Krakow, which is somewhat unfortunate as it's a weak node. I think you want to try and take over the Baltic as your own trade node, but curious how much Russia would allow that to happen. Yes, yeah, you do have all of this land, and it's just whether or not you can grab this up here, yeah, and not having Riga will probably hurt. What's it going? Have you exploited your tax yet? No, you have not. So that's probably one thing that we can do. We can exploit tax a whole bunch. Just don't take anything below 10. Or don't exploit to make something below 10. Keep those, or below 20, should you find them. But yeah, you do this all the way down. That should be an extra 2,000 gold to help get some extra buildings up. Ideas. We are taking trade to try and fix up our money, which is good, although that's losing out on the religious policies will likely hurt our income a little bit, development-wise. Yeah, still lots of provinces that we need to work on. We haven't really put on any development edicts, but being the fact that you as Poland are so poor, I mean, you're probably double, triple the size of your march, and you're making basically the same amount of money as him, so yeah, turning off army maintenance, definitely what you need to be doing if you're not scared of a Russian attack. You can also probably turn off forts, because you need to do what you can to ramp up. Yeah, focusing on trade to finish those ideas. Just find a really, really good king, so that helps. And he's very young, so he should... If you're lucky, he'll be around for at least another 30 years, and then you can start deving all of that manpower and such. Yeah, probably making level 3 centers of trade is going to be a long shot. And obviously that helps massively with dev, especially in big states with 4 or sometimes even 5 provinces. Yeah, like, if you could somehow get a level of 3 trade center in this state that's minus 10 dev cost on 6 provinces, that's obviously fantastic. Doesn't look like you have any others that have quite so much. Russia stealing a bit of your money, but I think they're your enemy, so that's as expected. Once you get more merchants, you'll be able to take money from Astrakhan. So, you do not... Sorry, who are our friends? We are friends with Bohemia, and that is it. So, if Westphalia comes back into this, then any sort of friendship with France is likely out. We could also possibly team up with Italy and try and divide Hungary, taking over the Pest node. At the very least, Slovakia taking the gold mine will help, although it's not as valuable now as it would be later, but nevertheless, getting some more decent trade goods up here would be a help. But I think very much this nation is in trouble. We are at the mercy of our bigger neighbor. Sweden getting kicked or leaving the game is massively massively advantageous, of course, but it's just whether or not you'll have the freedom to do that. So let's take a look at Bohemia real quickly. Austria died, and you have finally achieved freedom at their expense and at some of their land. So Bohemia is very much looking like a blob. And we are friends with apparently Commonwealth and Hungary, which I believe very much makes sense for that. Although, yeah, we took a nice opportunity to take a bite out of Westphalia, and were I would basically be campaigning as hard as I can to continue punishing Westphalia and so that you can grab nice chunks of the Rhineland and the rest of the Vienna trade node. We are collecting in Saxony, but Brandenburg or Prussia is beating us out, so I expect Bohemia to be really poor. Oh yeah. That is not good. That hurts. So, okay. And we're making 0 money. So, Bohemia is dirt poor. We can't afford our force limit. We are a theocracy, which likely helps our quality a bit. No loans somehow from that Westphalia war. Doing not too bad on tech or ideas. Likely need something to help our economy, but... Eesh. Yeah. Okay, I am not liking where this Bohemia is. Yeah, our land is disjointed among 3 trade nodes, of which we have a majority of trade in none of them. We can't afford our full army without going into a deficit. and you're in the middle of Europe. Yeah, definitely your way to do this is Diplo. You probably... Perhaps would be a way for you to bud up with Russia and help them and turn on Commonwealth and move into Prussian land. That probably would help you the most. Or bud up with France and take on Westphalia. Or bud up with Commonwealth and eat parts of Hungary. But from what I've seen, you're smack dab in the middle of Europe, and you are the weakest. So I think the Sharks may be circling, and it might be you for the next meal, because you are just too poor to do anything. So take a quick look at Italy. Italy looking very, very, very nice. Has now that the Sicilian pirates are no more, we've reclaimed some of the Italian land and moved into North Africa. We're also likely taking full advantage of two end trade nodes and making huge amounts of money in Genoa and huge amounts in Venice. So, where are all our merchants? We've got stealing there. Aleppo. I don't really think we need that there. We have no trade power. Gusa makes sense. Yep. Okay. We are taking all of this, but how are we... What do we have for navy? Lots of light ships. Lots of light ships in Alexandria. Right? No. Oh yeah, I guess the war was just over and we lost our provinces here and these were blockading, but I'm thinking might be wise for Italy to build up even more frigates, more light ships. Send a merchant from Aleppo here, send a merchant from home trade node here, and start, I don't know, with probably 100 ships or so. You can probably get a good 20-25% of this. Another 20 makes you rich. That could be a very profitable option in the long run. Our crown land is a little bit behind. Oops. But the good news is our money is fantastic, which... Yo, why the level 1 advisors, man? You rich. Get level 3s. You can probably get level 4s too. But... yeah. Looking strong. I guess we... Are we in a race for it? Yeah, likely in a race for these last 3 provinces in Austria. Can't... Do we have a truce? We do not, but you have... spy network strength somehow? I guess that's from before, or... Oh, no, it's a Bohemian vassal. I see. And they may want to Yeah, okay. Well, I don't think we'd be a fan of that. So I think that puts Bohemia on the Italians' hit list. We are friends with France, and that is it. Might make sense to try and reach out to at least one other player. I guess the good news is we are strong, 400k, 250. So not nearly as strong as France. Of course, maybe on par with Commonwealth, but far richer. And definitely stronger than any two of these other Germans or mainland European states. So you can probably... I'd say if you went all out, you could probably take like Hungary, any two of Hungary, Bohemia, Westphalia at the same time. Yeah, we've got quantity, eco trade, probably religious next, or another mill group. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, Republic. Oh, I'm not sure. Why are we focusing admin? And probably focus mill. How are we doing on manufactories? Have a little bit behind. Lots of decent trade goods. Some yellow provinces to look at and delete some churches. Soldiers' households looking fantastic. But with land in Africa, I think we don't need to fight any of these Eastern Europeans, as we've got. I mean, this is a dead player, so that's a good bit of free land. You can probably take the rest of the Tunis node without stepping on any toes. West Indies is going to be moving in there, but I think if you try to take money or want the rest of your Italian land, that would already make you enemies anyway, so don't think you care. You can also try to fight Yemen to reclaim your Egyptian provinces, but that might be a little bit unnecessary. Well, looking like a strong Italy this game for sure. And and Hungary has Jerusalem as a march too for all that reconquest. Ooh, yay. All right. Speaking of, let's look at the Magyars. Hungary, I think, probably going to be in a similar position as Bohemia. Yet we are dirt poor. Our Poles are stealing money from us. Meanwhile, AI is taking it as well, so we are not allied to Commonwealth. Probably makes sense. Backed up by France, which definitely helps, so there could be... I mean, obviously, what would make sense for you is destroy this gross appendage, take over the rest of the Balkans, and maybe move into some good land. Russia would probably be willing to help you with that. France, I am unsure how much, but I would be looking at Italy a little bit askance, as I think your excellent land to dev is very much in demand. It doesn't seem like we've done too much of that. Manufactories, we don't really have many good candidates. There is some good cloth in Croatia, which we should get up ASAP. Yeah, we have control over Ragusa, which is quite nice. Manpower is relatively low for what I think it should be. High force limit, so I mean, we can build up. We just need just need those manufactories and other ways to make money. Yeah, gold, you've already gotten your gold provinces as far up as you can. Ooh, what's with this devastation? I guess if there were big wars with Austria, I guess that might be left over from that. Like, yeah, need to try and get this gold mine back to prosperous. That would up your income a good bit too. Yeah, no, the March of Jerusalem is quite nice. They've got massive amounts of cores, so that obviously makes it look like we want to fight Persia, which obviously I don't think we can do by ourselves. The alliance with Bohemia, I guess you are PU buddies under Austria, but who is now dead, so I'm not sure if this really makes sense for you long term. I personally think, yeah, the easiest way for you to go is if you could team up with Italy, distract him from wanting his cores back on your land, and you can offer him help with Westphalia and offer him maybe part of Bohemia, and you can take maybe try and take most of the Vienna trade node. I'm not sure, but I think Bohemia, I think, is arguably weaker than you, and protecting him would probably not be your best. Yeah, you can't afford good advisors, unfortunately, and we've got bad king, meh heir. So this is looking, yeah, a little bit on the weak side. Forts turned off, army turned off. Makes sense, do what you can with what you have, but what you really need is friends and some better, more profitable land and time to dev. Yeah. Why is it so expensive? Do we not have the policy? We do have the policies. Oh no, we don't. Yeah, we have it on. Our ideas, we have defensive. I'm not certain about that. Morale is certainly nice, so that helps, although I think you're probably going to want quality at some point. If nothing else. Yeah, well, we're definitely going to need quality next. We're behind in admin. Oh, I'm not sure if that's just been poor rulers or not being able to hit power projection and other things. So again, another in a tenuous spot. So I really think in Eastern Europe, someone here has got to die for the other two to gobble up land and get a little bit stronger, because as it is, Italy is quite a bit stronger, France is quite a bit stronger, Commonwealth, who has Prussia, is quite a bit stronger. So it's either you three need to work together or turn on one another. So let's move on to what am I doing? Move on to Russia, who has probably winning on biggest name. He's now basically taken over the entire North Asian continent. Manpower is massive. Army size is massive. Economy, pretty good, but not super huge. Has a gold mine that he probably needs to develop, but look at the prosperity. Not complete, but pretty damn good nonetheless. How are we on governing cap? We are way over. You can probably turn these on any... Oh, they're all trade companies? Or did you just turn a few of these on? Huh. Not so sure, but I don't know. I don't know. You got so much land, so I don't think it actually matters. There's no big player in Eastern or Central Asia, so... Oh my god. Wait, and you have... So, you have all of Samarkand to yourself, which is gross. Yeah, trade setup. Not yet pulling out of Yumen, but AI, but no one's collecting there, so it doesn't actually matter. Ideas. Oh, just about to finish trade, so maybe we either put in Kazan just to get the merchant bonus, or we just... Not sure exactly. But yeah, Russia scary, Russia big. Not yet on the crown land, so not going to be as terrifying as they can be. How are we? Buildings. Yeah. Lots of fur that we can build up on, so that should probably be the next priority. Likely can skip out on soldiers' households for a good long while, as you just have so much naturally. Oh yeah, we can now also upgrade our barracks. Jesus Christ. Like, this Russia has basically gone stolen the game away. What are our missions? I don't think there's that many great ones. Free claims, yeah, that doesn't matter. Dev, trade, steering, free dev, free prestige. So, I think this is probably likely to be one of the massive world hegemonic powers. We're now going ahead and eating into China, so scary, scary Russia. I don't think there's much to say over that. Yeah, we fought Korea briefly to open up a path into China, and we don't really seem to have any enemies or really any direct alliances, although we're allied to Punjab. As Persia was apparently friends, but I feel like having complete control over Samarkand could go a ways to pushing Persia into someone else's camp. But I think anything short of 3 players taking on Russia is gonna be a long shot. So, take a quick look at Persia. Persia has managed to snatch most of Anatolia from the death of Byzantium and Jerusalem. So they are looking quite good. Manpower of over 400k. Income not doing too bad. Can probably be upped a good bit. Yeah, Russia stealing some money from us along with all these AI. Yeah, so Georgia is still alive. And Trebizond, so yeah, looks like a lot of mop-up that we want to be doing. I also have made some little islands here just to act as mysticism farming for that sweet 10% morale boost, as I don't... Now that things are getting later, manpower is a little bit less important. Oh yeah, we're not selling to nobility either, so that's a bit slow. Decent king, better... No, same heir, more or less. What can we do? Are we annexing any vassals? We are, so we're going to be hurting on Diplo for a while, but yeah, Persia has no alliances as of yet. Likely to be cooperating with Yemen and or Russia and or Punjab. Curious if they want to be pushing this anywhere else deeper, because maybe once they finish annexing all of their vassals, probably the thing that makes... Wait, Byzantium is our vassal still. Okay. So, okay, well, being the fact that we have Byzantium as a vassal, now that makes going into Hungary Commonwealth very attractive for all of that core return. But in terms of pure economy, might be better to try to move into Lahore. That land is quite rich, and I think you are a good bit stronger than Punjab. Advisors, I can't really be paying much more. We could probably start looking at turning off the army, as if we're not fighting it. We did get out of a fairly major war, and we've got some loans. Well, yeah, those are burger loans, so not super important. And holy crap, there are a whole lot of provinces to build things in. Like, look at that. That's... yeah, those paper manufactories, hell yeah. Got some yellow ones to take a look at as well. Workshop, barracks. Yeah, I don't want to delete those. So, yeah, quite a lot of build up that we can make. We've got quantity and eco for that nice dev cost. Probably need to get quality next. And we've got religious already. I don't know. This is looking strong, although I think we need quite a bit time of peace just to build up and reach our full potential. Yeah, some more AI to kill. How's our, yeah, gov cap is fine for once we annex our vassals. Probably AQ next, then Syria. Oh, it's Syria that we're working on first. Okay. Probably don't need to move the trade port forward. I think Aleppo is more vulnerable than Persia, especially if you're going to ask Russia to not take 6 of your ducats. Trade could also be another or a good candidate for our next idea group to boost up the money if we don't think we'll be fighting any wars. Power projection looking fairly nice. Can probably get some embargoes to keep it up. And oh yeah, we have Golden Age that hasn't been popped, so probably don't need to do it now, but it doesn't have construction costs in it anymore. That's right. So let's move on to Yemen. So Yemen, formerly the Rassids, wisely kept the Rassid ideas as they are bonkers. Look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 great mill ideas, as well as 1, 2 fantastic eco ideas. So this is quite the decent nation. Needs some work on our Dhimmi stuff, or our state stuff, and our autonomy is also like way high. Money wise, we're looking about as poor as Bohemia, which I think is due to a little bit of some mismanagement. We have pushed north, which I don't necessarily know if that was the best decision to go. We did successfully win 3 provinces from the dastardly Italians, which we need to go ahead and core up, but still have so many things that we can state. Okay, we have gotten down to Zanzibar, so that's nice. Bad news is that Songhai is stronger and has beaten us to there first. So yeah, this is very, very slow. Ideally, we would have liked to have taken all of Zambezi and Zanzibar, because this is a very rich trade node, because right now we are collecting in here, which is only about 14 ducats, while this AI stuff is already 25. So we move that there, collect there, it only goes out one way. It's fantastic. Ideas are looking a little bit behind and sketchy with this expansion. We've got colonists that we're not doing anything with. So we're looking very much on the weak side, unfortunately. And take some free money. Got some loans from the wars. But yeah, very much I think need to lean on friends in Vijayanagar to help you out, because everyone else that's around you, or anyone else that decides to want your land, probably a good bit stronger, unfortunately. So let's move on to Punjab. Has a sizable chunk of India, basically all of 3 states. Lots of land to core, I'm not sure. Yeah, starting to move into Tibet, China, and giving VJ a hug with a vassal and taking some of the Burma trade node. money actually the lowest that we've seen, which I'm not really sure what's happening. Like our, yeah, granted, our home trade node is Lahore, which leaks like crazy, but I'm not sure how that we only have 50% of the trade power there. Persia's being a bro and isn't stealing any money from us, but we're hardly making any ourselves. That probably tells me we don't have yeah, we haven't got some manufactories up. So that's going to go ahead and be a good help once it's done, but I think we're a little bit behind. Good news being that lots of cloth, lots of copper, silk, dyes, even some ivory. Oh, the ivory is probably in Burma, so we probably don't want to do that. Just, you'd want to concentrate on building them here, so yeah, could be. Although, yeah, our autonomy is ouchies. Wait, why is the minimum autonomy set to 50? Huh? Oh, because it needs to be cored. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, no, autonomy's not doing too bad, except in the things that need to be cored and have been recently conquered. Whoa. What's up with these ideas? We are way behind. Like, whoa. Have we just had the, like, worst shit rulers ever? Like, goddamn. Oof. Well, I mean, once we get our trade and eco ideas, then we'll start making money. But, yeah, we got no policies. Goods produced will be good. That will be good. That will be good. But we're a long way from doing anything. High crown land, which is nice, because that will help us with our manpower, which is unfortunately quite low. Force limit is huge, but we can't really afford any amount of it. But yeah, turning off... Yeah, I'm not really sure how much we gain by conquering right now, being the fact that we're so far behind. Because we've got lots of low dev provinces that we can build up on, but you know, like once we get that 30% reduction down and turn on states, like these we're going to be able to probably dev for 10 or less, so that'll help a good bit. But I guess we can take a quick look and see like how very much red and orange all this is quite low, and then we take a look at parts of VJ and Bengal. It's actually it's not too different, but I think you've got so many farmlands that you should be seeing a lot of these at 20 instead of 10 and below. But yeah, I guess yeah, policies need to be taken, tech needs to be taken. I don't think coring land is really worth it anymore unless you can conquer land, give to a vassal. But yeah, this needs to be done ASAP. This needs to be done ASAP. Finish the ideas, which are great. Yeah, like 15% production efficiency will help. Yeah, all these first three are just eco. Yeah, behind on every tech, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately not able to start this golden era. I think, yeah, golden era needs to be taken ASAP, as soon as you can. Yeah, what's our culture? Can we unify culture? Oh, we're missing literally one province from Jaunpur. Is really that it? Yeah. We got all of Kashmir, we've got all of these lands. Yeah, the border with VJ is good. So, yeah, literally one province, conquer it, pop Golden Age, and start trying to get your tech up. And your ideas. Probably ideas first and then tech, just because... Oh, gee. Oh, and we're in internal conflicts too. Yikes. Alright, so this country just sort of needs to be sat on and fixed up, and then you can be very strong as just a bit. Yeah, I mean, like, we got 1,000 dev, so if the 1,000 dev can be sorted out and leveraged, will be good. Let's move on to VJ. So I think VJ, my own country, probably along with Russia and France, one of the three biggest powers in the world. VJ power mainly coming in the fact of money, making well over 100 more than my next closest, and you can see as I've pretty much built what's it called, manufactories in almost every province that I can. I'm starting to work on my vassals over here as well. As you see, I've got two massive ones, Bastar, which is, we've got to scroll down, pretty close to being integrated, and then Pegu, which may never be integrated as it costs 5,000 Diplo points. So that's slightly difficult. I've just begun selling to my Marathas, which are quite strong. Not only do I get the manpower from them, but I'll also eventually be getting 10% discipline if I get down to 0 crown land. That'll probably sit around 10. Military-wise, I've got a force limit of about 400. My army is just returning from helping my friend Yemen take some rightful territory for some nicer borders. Yeah, as you can see, my manpower is actually quite hurting and low from that, as you have to march across deserts to get there. So I'm happy that the war came to a swift negotiated conclusion, as I don't really know how much longer I could have fought if I had no manpower. But right, other thing that you can see that it's doing now, I have quite a bit of money saved up, and I'm turning it into universities on all of these yellow provinces that are built up. Like, see, I've built quite a few manufactories, but there's quite a few spots where I didn't have building slots, or I built something else instead, did a minor screw up. So I am going to try and first build universities on everything that has no building slots remaining to reduce their dev cost, and dev them up to then receive another manufactory, thus getting even more income. I have my golden age, which I haven't popped yet. I'm debating on using it now or waiting for later, just because I have a lot of deving to do. Ideas wise, I've got my 4 done. Next one coming, likely to be religious. Main problem now for Vijayanagar being I am in fact Vijayanagar, and while VJ ideas are fantastic for early game, like massive amounts of mercs, cavalry is good early, it quickly drops off as I have no morale in my ideas. So what makes sense and what I'm planning is I need to switch over to something. So I'm going to either get Shia or Ibadi from someone, and I will flip over to Deccan because of, I think the only other country, or what's it called? Only other formable that could or would make sense would be Nepal, which is owned by Gorkha, and based on the size of my country, I think it's far too late to do a culture swap. Because that means I'd have to literally destate almost my entire country and then restate it, and I don't think I'd have enough admin or time to actually do that. But, no, I am friendly with Punjab and Yemen. Like anyone else that is a threat is way too far away to matter. So I'm just eating up Spice Islands, feeding my vassal. Now that I got tech and increased my governing cap, I can probably start taking some of the land myself, or I can feed to another vassal if I so choose. But no, yeah, it looks like, yeah, I should be able to eat the rest of Dai Viet, maybe get into Canton as well before I finish off this area as well. So let's take a last quick look at Korea, who should be the last nation. So Korea, doing respectably well, is just barely on the great power list. It's about to fall off. Yeah, GovCap still has plenty and plenty to do. We've got 2 vassals that we're feeding parts of China to, Taiwan and Ning, which makes sense, spread out that conquering between your Diplo, Tech, and your admin. Yeah, doing quite well on technology. Also, starting just now on that, but not sure how we lost prosperity in Korea. But so what? You probably want to take the rest of Japan. I'm actually not that familiar with Korean ideas. I've got some trade ideas, which don't matter. Tech, ships. So not the greatest ideas. And we have also gone for maritime. Yeah, if we're gonna take over China, we probably want trade next. What are these missions? I have not looked at Korean missions. Whoa, holy crap. That's a real good effect. 25% fire damage, that's solid. Oh yeah, morale, maybe morale. Okay. Oh, whoa, 15% dev cost. Holy crap. Maybe I need to play some Korea. Koreans. Okay. So Korea's looking strong, or got some nice missions to hold on if you need to fight someone. Unfortunately, we needed to fight Russia, and Russia is gonna kill you if they want to. Yeah, unfortunately, they're not a player anywhere else nearby that could really assist. What I'm curious about is, well, I would think that Korea can, despite these missions being really good, unless we really just want to sit on, it's probably too late to do it. Suggest maybe if this was done earlier, we could have culture swapped to Japan and taken Japanese ideas. But I think it's a bit late for that, and the country's a bit big for that. King is meh. Heir is a little better than meh. Money, not bad. looking good. Are we collecting in Beijing yet? Yes, we are. Unfortunately, losing some money, but that's just land, or that's just non-end nodes for you. Very good on manufacturing wise. Some more to build up, of course, but no, likely just probably, yeah, this country likely needs another 50 years of conquering and build up. Hopefully we can keep Russia happy, but well, I get not too much to say. Somewhat, yeah. Next idea should either be, yeah, I'd probably trade just because you're going to be fairly passive and single player. So I guess that's our brief overview. Europe is Europe as it usually is. Although this is kind of weird that we just see Brazil with no connection. France obviously can basically kill anyone around them that they want, along with Russia and VJ. The interesting thing is going to be what these slightly smaller states in Europe do. Like if Commonwealth dies and Prussia gains freedom, and they take then everyone's able to take a big chunk out of Commonwealth. There's 4, 5 counting Italy players that all probably have all want land from each other and all need each other's protection. So that can be some interesting things happening there. Otherwise, I guess thank you everyone for watching, and see you in the game next week.